There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Hello, welcome back to Could It Be, an Oak Island podcast. We are your hosts, Deidre and Dustin White.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, and it's been an exciting week here, hasn't it?
Yeah, it sure has. We've been working on a lot of our own armchair treasure hunts lately.
Yeah, we've had some recent success. Matter of fact, we also just got done talking with Calazar.
Yeah, we talked to Mike and Christy over on the Calazar's YouTube vlog about various treasure hunts that we're into, and recently we didn't win first place. We came in second place on a treasure hunt that's been going on for the past year and a half.
Yes, so that was very exciting for us. Yes, it was second place,
Hey,
but
we still won something.
we did. We won a little something, and
Yeah, this treasure hunt, or there's a book that came out almost 2 years ago called Map of the Dead. And it's a story, it's like a thriller based in England and Egypt, and woven into the pages of the story, there's a treasure hunt. And you have to read the book, go to the website, answer the questions, and the first person to get through all the stages wins. About 2 weeks ago, somebody beat us to the punch.
wah, wah.
Yeah, and that's a real bummer because the prize, it was a $13,000 gold pyramid. Like, it was solid gold, worth a lot of money. And so we missed that just by a little bit, but a couple days ago we were the second people to solve the treasure hunt, and it was we haven't received it yet, but we are going to get a golden sarcophagus.
A small one. This is like a miniature thing. No, we're not getting a real sarcophagus in our house. Let's just be clear.
You do need to remember, I said that the story is an England and Egypt kind of thing.
Yes.
So the prize that we're receiving is an Egyptian theme.
Yes.
But the author of this book buried this little miniature sarcophagus in England. That the goal basically was to find out where it was.
Yes.
And so, or you could actually go dig it up, or you could input the answer onto the website and win that way. That's how the winner won, through the website. So since the winner didn't dig it up, the author offered it up as a second place prize, and we won.
Yeah, so that was exciting, very satisfying for us since the answer wasn't put out to the public yet, still being able to solve that puzzle.
Yeah, it was really tough, but like she said, it's really satisfying. So we were super stoked about that, and we talked about a lot of other treasure hunts that we do. We mentioned it before, like in episode 1 or 2, about us going across the country digging holes for a treasure hunt called The Secret. We also talked a little bit about an old treasure hunt we were into called Breakfast, Tea, and Bourbon.
Yes.
These are books, and there's treasure hunts in these books. But it was a lot of fun talking to Mike and Christy about those things. And
Throw a link in the show notes to Mike's vlog.
yeah, in case if you want to watch it, and we talk a little bit about Oak Island as well on our podcast. So so we're excited about that, and we hope you listen.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive into what happened this last week on Oak Island.
Yeah, they do just a little brief overview at the beginning of what's going on in the Money Pit.
Yeah, we open up in the Money Pit. We see Craig out there. We talk a little bit about the next well that's going down. So we're
Using the sonic drilling technique.
using the sonic drilling based off the grid from before. So we're going into HI4.
What was that called?
HI4.
Hi
4.
Hi 4. Is that like a golf thing?
Oh, it is now. Maybe it'll catch on.
Isn't like basic
It's like a high five, but
a high
no
4?
thumb.
No, I was thinking like in golf when someone says 4, isn't that almost like saying hi? Or is it, it's just more like get out of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a golfer.
No, but you'd probably yell 4 a lot.
Probably.
Anyways, in HI4, Craig mentions that they're going to start looking for spoils and cores around 90 feet. Again, kind of recapping what we know, but then they shoot us on over to the war room.
Yeah, and they're doing a little bit of discussion about, the passing of Xena Halpern. And it does a little bit of flashbacks of, Rick going and meeting her son, Davin, and
Yes.
grandson, Jason. Just kind of recapping the transfer of all of her research to Rick.
Yes, and Marty's there via video conference. Everybody, he's asking him, "Hey, how'd it go last week in New York?" And he's like, "It was overwhelming. It was a lot. We all saw him driving there with a U-Haul, okay?" And I was like, "Wow, why is he driving a U-Haul for all this stuff?" Well, apparently there was so much stuff that it just didn't all fit in the U-Haul.
I guess.
They need to have it all shipped.
Yeah, they probably maybe they could have fit it all in the U-Haul, but you don't want to like stack all those papers on top of each other like
True.
that, so maybe they just did a layer like on the floor of the U-Haul, took that back and shipping the rest or something. I don't know.
That's possible. And the fact that I get a feeling some of the boxes, they wanted to make sure it was just research they were sending off. They probably had a few more to go through to send them.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
yeah, and then we have who's all in the room? We got Charles Barkhouse and Craig Tester, Doug Crowell, and Rick. And Rick then suggests to Marty, "Hey, we need to build some kind of research
Research center.
center." Yeah.
I was so thrilled at that idea. I think I had mentioned that the time, let's see here, the episode before. I was like, man, they really need to get a research center or something out there.
Ask and ye shall receive.
I know. Like, wow, maybe I should ask more because
Well, this was recorded quite a long time ago, and they had
Okay.
already built it, so maybe you already knew that.
maybe I can see the future.
Or the past.
Or the okay, so that's definitely more of a thing. But no, I'm really glad to know they're getting a research center, especially for all of her stuff, everything that they've gathered over the years.
Yeah, now Doug doesn't even have to ever leave the island.
Right? He can just live at the research center.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think they're all in agreement that needs to happen probably sooner than later.
Well, we see at the end of the episode it does happen pretty quick.
Which is sooner than later.
Exactly.
Aha. But they touch on the fact that when he was there, found a copy of the Chroma document.
Yeah, and that's I'm really interested to learn more about that.
Definitely.
I haven't done any outside research on that because I kind of want them to explain it to me, and from their perspective, and then afterward I'm going to go back and look to see if they kind of fudged on a few things or how they,
Okay, we'll do this. You'll do it that way, and then I'll do it the opposite way. And let's see what happens.
Well, have you already looked into it?
I started to, and then I stopped.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll follow through
Well,
then.
we know what they tell us, like as far as Templar Knight, going on a
Voyage.
voyage to the New World.
Before Columbus.
Yeah, here, let's have this. We have a clip of Robert Clotworthy explaining this.
While packing up Xena's collection of research, Rick discovered a copy of what is known as the Cremona document, a collection of maps and journal passages reportedly authored by the 12th century Templar knight, Ralph de Soudelay. It describes not only de Soudelay's journey to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, where he claimed to have recovered priceless religious treasures, including the Ark of the Covenant, but also a Templar voyage to the New World in the year 1178, more than 3 centuries before Christopher Columbus made landfall in North America.
Well, yeah, that's definitely really interesting. And
Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about that.
totally agree. So after that, they end up taking us back over to the money pit
Yeah, to
dig a little deeper.
into Hi 4.
Hi, Four. Yeah. So who do we have out there? We have Charles and Craig initially,
And Terry.
and Terry at the money pit, and they're starting to look at casings that are between 109 and 118 feet.
Yeah. Charles quickly discovers some wood
Wood
in
in the money pit?
the money pit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. He's excited that he says this wood's horizontal, but Terry's like, it looks like about 45 degrees
Because it would look like maybe the end of a timber.
from a collapsed tunnel or something. Like that's why it was at a little bit of a weird angle. Yeah, so
But
I'm-
Charles, he speculates when Rick shows up that it's the debris field from
Yeah.
the collapse.
Yeah, the collapse, and could be the top of like Shaft 6, which they then go on and on and on about. You know, they want us to really know what Shaft 6 was and how they dug. You know, they dug a hole, you know, next to where they thought the money pit was, so they can kind of go under it and
then back up in.
back up into it. And that doesn't seem like a really great idea, but.
Seems highly unsafe, but all the things seem very
Who knows
unsafe.
what they were thinking back in the day, but it just doesn't seem like that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. If you have, if you want to dig over and then there's like some kind of cavity above you where
Water.
potential treasure is just hanging out, you know, if you make it too thin, that stuff's just going to break through and
It's gonna be a
crash
straight
down,
up,
and then it's going to be all ruined.
like Scrooge McDuck moment where you're like coming up underneath all these gold coins, but then they end up suffocating you. So like really, there's no winning here.
No, that'd be very sad.
Yeah, it'd be terribly unfortunate.
How would you like to get to the bottom of the money pit for only that to happen to you?
You know, that's probably why those bones were down there.
Yeah.
It's a Scrooge McDuck situation. Regardless, off of our little tangent there, Rick shows up. They're all talking about the spoils here. And like we said, Charles speculates about the debris field, but then everybody else goes into talking a little bit more about maybe the searcher tunnels or flood tunnels, because nobody actually knows what we're looking at here.
Yeah, no, but it's fun to speculate, and that's what the show's here for. That's what they want us to do.
Oh yeah, that's half
So,
the fun.
yeah.
But then we go on to do
Well, wait a second. Did you see Rick's hands?
no.
Oh, you weren't looking at his hands? His hands were like caked mud.
With like clay. And...
Yeah, they were like his hands were just a different color than the rest of anything on his body. It was pretty. I don't know.
You mean like the time Jack got himself a whole new color after spraying all those tables?
from like last season?
Yeah, I'm sorry, that is still the most hilarious thing.
Yeah, Jack, because he's bald,
Yeah.
he just caked onto the top of his
He's just
skull.
like, he's great.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Anyways, yeah, I feel like that wouldn't be the first time. He's pretty used to digging in the dirt.
I know,
so...
I know he is, but it's just so funny. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just funny to me.
Yeah, I think it is just funny to you. But let's see here. Yeah, we're talking about the tunnels, and then we go in and do a little bit deeper. You know, we go past 118, and we pull out the spoils for up to 128 feet. And they pull it out, their big old sausage casings laying on the table, and look at it with much interest.
Yeah, well, they found some more wood.
Wood?
Yeah.
Could it be?
It could be.
Then they believe to have found the bottom of the tunnel when they pull out that next casing, right?
Yeah, and that's like at that depth is where the bottom of Shaft 6 would have been. Mm-hmm. And so there was no point continuing to dig deeper at that location.
That makes sense. So then they, as Rick goes on to explain, and Robert goes on to explain.
Yeah, let's listen to what the narrator has to say about Shaft 6 and what it can mean, because it was like the people that dug Shaft 6 were the last people to actually know where the money pit was. Mm-hmm. And so if you could find Shaft 6, that would give you a big clue onto where to really dig and which direction to go to get to the legendary money pit.
Mm-hmm. And if there's a searcher tunnel that's going horizontally, then it would make sense to track it too, the other way.
Yeah.
So either way, it makes sense for them to move on to the next hole.
Yeah, and like we said, here's the narrator explaining some of that.
In 1861, a team of treasure hunters attempted to reach the bottom of the original money pit and avoid the flood tunnels by digging an adjacent shaft down to a depth of 118 feet. From there, they began tunneling some 18 feet east in the hopes of entering from underneath the floor of the suspected treasure chamber. Unfortunately, as the team dug closer, the tunnel, known as Shaft 6, started flooding with seawater, halting their efforts. Just days later, workers reported hearing a series of horribly loud crashes below, leading to speculation that the money pit had collapsed scattering tons of lumber and possible treasure across a deep, flooded debris field.
Well, now that we have a little bit better understanding about that, we see the research center rolling across the causeway to be installed, and
Research center on wheels.
yeah, so that they can do some work on the island. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not like they don't do work on the island.
Just different type of work.
Yeah, the paperwork part, the combing through everything, not just Xena's work. I'm sure there's a lot more coming than just Xena's stuff, which is extensive.
It is definitely extensive. Kent Holmes brings a temporary. It's on loan. Is that kind of what I'm understanding when they
I don't
bring
know.
it in? I mean, mobile homes, I understand, are temporary structures. Okay.
Yeah.
So, are they building a permanent structure? I know this is one of their model homes. Yes, it's great advertising for them.
That's what I think it is. It's just advertising. So that means it's temporary until they're not making money off of the show anymore or whatever,
Along with all those very deliberate Home Depot boxes rolling in.
I don't know that I think that was like product placement that wasn't intentional.
Oh no! I mean, even the way they were carrying the boxes is like, look at this giant Home Depot sign.
Well, they got 50% on the 4 sides of the box. 2 sides have Home Depot on it. There's a 50% chance that they're holding that straight out.
Yeah, and 100% chance that all of them are going to show up on the screen. That's what I'm saying. I have bought moving boxes that have nothing on them.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just saying, definitely some product placement there. But that home, well, that research center, looking super nice.
Yeah. I'm impressed. I'd be enjoying working. Well, I don't know. It has too many windows for my liking.
Oh, what is? You're like a bat.
I like to. I would live in a cave if I could.
I
right?
know, and you don't even like Batman.
Yeah. Well, I like Superman. He's way better.
And he flies near the sun. Like, I don't understand. And you
He
don't
draws,
like the light.
He draws his power from the sun. He doesn't have to be in it all day.
Do you draw your power from the sun? You'd have to go outside.
5 minutes here or there is fine.
I like Batman. I live in the shadows.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, sorry guys, we had to have a little Batman Superman fight there. So who's there? We've got Doug, Paul, Rick, Charles, all unloading.
Yep. And they're gonna set that puppy up and get to work.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It is really. It's really exciting.
It's a good thing for the island. I bet that even the people that aren't going to be doing the paperwork in there, I bet that's like a morale boost. Like, hey, we got a new structure, or we got a new building. We got more people doing research here. It's like it's not like they weren't committed already, but that's like another commitment. It's like, I don't know. It's got to be an exciting feeling.
Yeah, it's continuing to carry on a legacy, and it's also. They're going to have people coming through Oak Island tours. It's one more stop along the way. It's something more there.
Yeah, I mean, something to look at. Probably the public probably isn't going to be able to go in there. Maybe. Who knows?
What if they bring something really cool to the table and they want to share?
Maybe.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, well, maybe when they have people come to, like Xena would come in the past, or like they've
had all kinds of guests.
Well, yeah, later on we'll talk about Randall Sullivan, the guy that's writing the book. They would meet in the war room, but maybe they'll meet in the, research center going forward, because...
Good place for collaboration.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's fun. I'm excited for it.
How about Lot 21?
Yeah, we see a couple of our favorite guys
Yep.
go over there and do some metal detecting.
So we've got Gary, Jack, and Peter all head out to Lot 21, which has been very fruitful. It's a good one to go back to.
They almost instantly reminded us just a couple weeks ago, this is where the new brooch was found.
Hey, okay. I'm
Hey,
with you.
Respect the brooch.
Yeah. Okay, new hashtag, respect the brooch. Oh, geez. So they go out there, and he gets a hit and tells them where to put the shovel in the ground, and Jack goes to town.
Yeah, Jack just starts digging.
He's a little hardcore there with that shovel.
Yeah, well, he's enthusiastic about everything. We've talked about that.
I know. He was very excited.
Yeah, so he dug right where Gary wanted him to, got whatever it was, cleared out anyway.
Yep.
Gary sticks his little pinpointer metal detector in there and pulls out a neat little artifact.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It looks like a cap badge.
That's what he thinks.
That's what he
You know,
thinks.
he is an expert, but there's room for error for anybody.
But it is Oak Island.
And it is Gary.
And it is Oak Island. That's why it's not like Mystery Solved Island.
Yeah. Well, it was the design on the little badge or whatever it was pretty cool. They said it was reminiscent of Fleur de Lis, and there's some like close-ups of it. I've never seen a Fleur de Lis look exactly like that, but maybe that's like an older style. It's impressive nonetheless, and it's really cool that they found a little piece and they're like, well, maybe there's more to find right here, and
they found another piece within that spoils.
Yeah, the piece that had already been taken out of the ground, they pick up the little piece that connects exactly together with that little
puzzle
badge.
piece. The puzzle's coming together.
Yeah.
We saw at the beginning of the year. He said we had a box of puzzle pieces. Now we putting them together. Look at us go.
True that. Yeah. So I don't know. It was a cool little find. Is it super earth shattering? I don't know.
Maybe.
But it could be. The narrator sure wanted to say, does it have anything to do with the brooch found a couple of weeks ago? Because I think the narrator, Robert Clotworthy, really wants this to be the Marie Antoinette jewels, the France stuff.
He respects the brooch.
He does respect the brooch. Yeah.
Let's see here. Gary tells us that it's maybe a 1700s find.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's old. Real old.
Could be French.
Could be French.
1700s. Respect the brooch, man. I mean, this is exciting. Thank you a lot for 21. It's always gonna deliver.
Yeah, you like that new phrase?
I do. Yeah. I might be hanging on to it a little too hardcore, but I kind of like it. So respect the brooch.
Yeah, we'll put that on our Twitter poll this week. We'll put respect the brooch.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Respect the brooch.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? Did we find anything else while we were out there on Lot 21? I don't believe so.
No.
Instead, we start looking at the Money Pit area again. Mm-hmm. So we go back there a couple times.
Yeah, a new little mini borehole being drilled out. What is it called?
IJ
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
So that's near the one they had drilled, which was Gal 1.
Yeah, the big one.
Mm-hmm. The giant one. And I'm glad they reminded us of this.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something that came out of that hole that I was always real puzzled why they didn't talk about it more. It's probably because it's probably some kind of searcher artifact, the big metal hinge. Like that looks like something that would really I want them to talk about it more. I think that's like one of the coolest things they ever found. How does a big old metal hinge get 150 feet or whatever it was underground? It doesn't. So why don't they talk about that? Because they probably must know that it was left over from some other previous searcher. That's the only thing I can...
Same thing with the gold-plated button. P.S. Shouldn't have we got a gold dance right then?
Yeah, right? Like, they said
a gold-plated button?
Yeah, and just a couple episodes ago, they were like, the first gold found on Oak Island. Now, I think in this Gal 1, they found a gold-plated button.
Yeah, I feel
what up with that?
Maybe we should have had a gold dance then, and we still haven't.
Yeah.
So.
And where is Gary's gold dance? Like we've been taunted with it, right?
I know, rude. So we already talked about the hinge. They pulled out a giant metal spike out of there.
Everybody's pulling metal spikes out of everywhere, though. In fact, just today, we're about to go on to the next scene of Smith's Cove. I guess this will just segue right into that. I mentioned before on the podcast about the Facebook page, Oak Island from the Other Side of the Causeway.
Yes.
Yeah, the lady that runs that, her name's Karen. She took a whole bunch of pictures today. She got in her kayak and did a little adventure around Oak Island.
Oh, I like this lady.
Yeah, some of her pictures were really, really cool. They she went to Smith's Cove and, the cofferdam's still in place, ready to go for next season. And she found a big giant metal spike herself. I don't know where. I don't think she was digging, but she came across this big giant metal spike it's a square spike with I think it was a round head. So
I feel left out. Like I kind of want my own metal spike now.
I think you need to follow her on Facebook so that you can take a look at these finds too. These are really cool things. Yeah. I think everybody should be following her. She lives literally
Across
end
the
of the
causeway?
at the end of the driveway to Oak Island. Come on,
Oh, that's cool.
you don't get a better front row seat than that. One doesn't exist. Okay, unless you live at Dan Blankenship's house.
I was gonna
right?
say, well, there
Or
are a
Dave.
couple
Yeah,
full-time residents.
yeah, but it's cool. You should take a look. Everybody should go and follow her page. It's awesome.
So we talked a bit about IJ 5.5, but then we also were just talking about Smith's Cove, which is where they flash us over to next, because we always have to have a quick little update on Smith's Cove and what's going on out there.
Yep.
So Charles, Dan Henske, and Rick all head on out, and
They just wanted kind of an update from Irving to, say like, hey, where you guys at? Do you need anything? Rick was like, yeah, we can't wait to get in here and get our hands ready. Dude, Rick, your hands are filthy all the time, bud. I don't think they're not holding you back. All right. But yeah, so I don't know what it looked like, about 30 or 40% complete.
that's what it looked like to
Maybe
me.
40, maybe a little
But
closer to-
Irving, the guy with Irving, said by the end of that day, they should have a third of the wall
Okay.
done.
I missed that part. Okay.
Yeah. So, they did have to put all the pylons in, and then, you start with the sheets that all interlock together.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was, I think when we watched it, I was telling you, it must be a lot easier when the tide is out, without the water there to get it in the right exact spot they want it.
Yeah, they were mentioning before that they have to work with the tide, and that makes sense, but, when they say it out loud, it's helpful.
Yeah. So,
Excited to get in there.
yeah, that's like something they're dangling over us. They just want us to get real excited about it. We're all super excited about it. Now give us some, give us the U-shaped structure. We want it.
Right. Well, they've got all this other exciting stuff going on, but each episode they give us like 30 seconds of Smith's Cove that says, worry, it's still happening. Oh, are you ahead of schedule? No, we're on time. Or,
Yeah.
this is still happening.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, that's going to be huge when that's on. I'm excited
Probably
for
why
that.
there's going to be so many episodes this year.
Yeah, I think, what did they say, 24 episodes?
24, 25. Should be 25 because that's my lucky number. So let's go with that.
Sure. Yeah, I'm between Smith's Cove and the 90-foot stone. Like, those are the things that they've shown that I'm most excited about, but I still want the swamp.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't seen anything about the swamp yet. We'll get there.
We'll
They have
see.
not forgotten about the swamp.
Yeah, maybe they did because it smells.
Whatever.
Okay, what happened? Where are we going next?
Back to the brand new research center. We have our buddies Laird, Gary, Marty, Alex.
Yeah, it's a party over there.
Yeah, and the new researcher Paul Troutman, or at least he's new to us. Like I don't know that I've seen him on any episodes before. I think he was on last week briefly, but yeah, before that I don't recall him. But
Maybe.
hey, he's obviously a hardcore Oak Island researcher if he's allowed in that room to do that work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Means
we
he's
can
gotta be
appreciate
good.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
So what do we find out? We find out this thing called
Is
TPFs.
that another hashtag?
Hashtag TPF Top Pocket Finds.
Yeah, Gary needs the shirt with the deeper pocket, right?
Yeah, I think that's been agreed upon.
The top pocket find that they show off this time, though, fits comfortably into its
does.
regular pocket. So they're just wanting to give Marty the lowdown on the find as far as the potential French artifact that they had
Yes.
just found on Lot 21.
Him and Laird.
Yeah, it's important to show that kind of stuff to Laird.
Yes.
Get his professional opinion.
And he seemed to be in agreement with Gary for the most part.
Yeah, so...
We all said first French potentially on the island.
Yeah, and it's exciting to hear more about... And Alex brings up the...
Duke Danville.
Yeah, that theory that had been going around since last year. Here's a clip explaining a little bit of that.
If that's French, then obviously the first thing you think of is the ship's log and the Duc d'Anville and all that connection.
I found 8 pages of what looks like a ship's log.
Last year, Oak Island researcher Doug Crowell presented the team with information taken from a centuries-old ship's log. In it was the detailed account of a failed French naval expedition in 1746, led by the Duc d'Anville, a descendant of a family connected to the Knights Templar. The log also documented the construction of what was described as a deep treasure shaft dug on a wooded island and then filled with millions in gold and precious jewels.
It has been agreed that a deep pit be dug, the pit to have a secret entrance by a tunnel from the shore.
I mean, a great quantity of treasure, and they appear to be in this bay.
What troubles me is how perfect this is.
I had some issues, kind of like Marty did with the whole manifest thing as they were reading through it.
Yeah, it was just too perfect.
Too perfect. Nothing lines up perfectly
Yeah,
at
but-
Oak Island, but man, that is really good.
And Doug found that. You know, Doug's not the. I don't think he's the type to like fudge on something. He's not going to go find something and he'll be like, oh yeah, this is gonna make their day. You know,
Watch this.
they're gonna keep me around because of this. No, I don't.
No, but it doesn't
He's
mean
a serious researcher.
that somebody didn't put that out there a long time ago to throw people off
Could be very well, or to keep people, you know,
away.
no, not to away, but to keep people invested in digging in that spot. You know, to keep them maybe their attention away from something else.
And kind of a diversion.
Could
is that
be.
what you're thinking? Could it be?
It always could be.
It always could be.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point. But it's kind of nice to see that all wrap back around, whether or not it is actually related. Never know.
Who knows?
So another specialist or person we start to hear from, we get a flashback from the author that came to the island last year.
Yeah, Randall Sullivan. He's writing a book, or he's already written the book. The book's available. You could go to like Barnes and Noble right now and buy it.
Most likely.
No, I've seen somebody post about it on Facebook group today that they've
Definitely going to be picking
bought
that
it.
up.
Yes. Yeah, we'll probably have to do some kind of review of it. Yeah, it'll be exciting. But yeah, so he is chatting with the brothers, you know, just kind of letting them know what he's been up to, and they tell him kind of the things that they've been up to and the, you know, what they thought was the most significant finds of last season.
Last year, yeah. And they say that it's the bones, which we've come back to many
Yeah,
times.
that's just mind-boggling that they found bones like 150 or however many feet it was underground. Like, how did those get there?
Between those and then Drayton's Cross, the two big things. I
Definitely.
agree.
Well, they also found the Bobby Dazzler. Well, they also found the original Bobby Dazzler. Well,
Respect the brooch.
yeah, the first brooch from last year. And forgot to say hashtag.
Hashtag respect the brooch. So they didn't mention it, but obviously it's because they felt the other two things were more significant.
I guarantee they've been in constant contact with him if he's writing a book. And
That's
the,
true.
The book isn't even. The book is like published by somebody that's in. It's in concert with the History Channel. Like it has their logo on it and everything, and it's got the. It's called The Curse of Oak Island. It's like it's branded from the show. You know.
Makes sense.
So they know all about it. They're just trying to give us a little bit of like, oh, this is what's going
I
on.
get it. It's editing. Yada, yada, yada.
Of course.
We can only speculate so much, even though that's exactly what this show is, all the speculation.
They're finding cool stuff.
That's true. So they talked to Randall Sullivan, definitely a shameless book plug there. They want an autographed copy. Me too. So go out, check it out, and then let's head back over to the Money Pit.
Yeah, if anybody's got buys the book and wants to share a couple thoughts about it, please email us. That'd be a cool thing to chat about. I don't know when we're going to have time to read something like that.
Maybe there's an audio version.
Yeah, I'll make as much time as I can, but we're going to go out and buy it soon. But if you want to email us some thoughts about it, that'd be awesome.
We'd love to chat with you.
That's oakislandpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, Money Pit.
Money Pit again.
IJ 5.5. We're headed back out there.
What'd they get out of it?
Well, everybody is there. Like, it's a party out at the Money Pit.
Yeah, even Doug was out there. He's helping them.
Doug, Paul.
Yeah.
Everybody was out there getting
all
dirty.
of the above.
Everybody except for Marty.
I don't know. I didn't see Jack or Peter
Okay,
or
fine.
Alex.
Whatever, they weren't all there. Why you gotta be like that?
A good handful of teammates were there, though.
It did seem like more than what we usually get out there. Anyways, they're looking at the spoils from 111 feet.
Yep, and they feel like they're right on target for that shaft, shaft number 6.
They're looking for the tunnel between shaft 6 and the Money Pit because they think that's where answers are going to be.
Yeah, because if something, like that clip that we had earlier of the potential collapse of the money pit into that shaft that connects the two tunnels. You know, it could be littered in gold for all we know.
Exactly.
It's probably definitely littered in wood.
Yeah. Wood?
Yeah, on Oak Island.
Could it be?
It always can be.
That's true. Gold? Maybe not.
Hey, hope so.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's the hope.
Yeah, that is the hope. That's why we're all still tuned in.
Exactly.
So they hit that. They are looking through the spoils of 111 feet, and they find big pieces of wood.
Yeah, like a beam.
Yes.
Like they were right on top of perfectly on top of this piece of wood that came out basically almost whole. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, they just like...
Well, that just reinforced what, you know, they were trying to get, you know, answers from, and they're gonna...
And it lined up with the seismic.
Yep.
All good things. Check, check, check.
Yep. And they're just gonna try to connect the dots, you know, then they're gonna drill another hole to try to follow that tunnel, and it makes complete sense.
They went to go call Marty, give him an update on what was going on, because they pulled the big pieces of wood out.
Yeah, well, I think the main reason they wanted to talk to Marty was they wanted to tell him, hey, our next plan is, you know, do another hole beside this one. But Rick had a little bit of a... It seemed like he wanted something else, but Craig wanted what he wanted, and he's just giving in. He's like, well, you know, we're going to have to do both sides anyway, so we'll just let Craig have his hole first.
Yeah, Craig's been kind of heading up the money pit. Just let him keep driving. It's going well. Craig wants to go west to start, and then, yes, of course, we're going to have to go the other side as well. We need to know where all the edges are, and it sounds like we all agree there, and that's where we're headed.
Yep. So super duper exciting. You know, lots of stuff happening. You know, some of these episodes are a little bit slower because, you know, they make these discoveries. We chat about them the next episode. This episode, they made some cool discoveries out at Lot 21. Then we have talking about that cool book that just came out.
You can't have a brooch every episode.
Yeah, but you can't have a new building being installed on Oak Island every episode either. So it's just
No,
cool.
that'd be impressive, though.
It's just cool things happening. You know, it's exciting to get the ball rolling on a lot of these things. You know, we see the work at Smith's Cove. That's coming. It's exciting. It's
Well,
exciting
they're
time to
taking
be
us
involved in the show.
On a journey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking us through the album. So wrapping up the episode.
Yeah, we head back to the research center one more time.
Back to the research center, and we're waiting for Davin to show up.
Yeah, Davin shows up, Xena's son, and he has a gift for Rick.
So he came out there. He really wanted to see the research center. At least I would assume, because that's where all of his...
Mother's research went.
Exactly.
Yeah, and while he was presenting the gift to Rick, did you notice the little plaque hanging behind Rick's head?
Yeah.
Did you
I
see what
thought
it
that
said?
was nice. I could tell. It seemed like it was something dedicated to Xena.
Yeah, I think I squinted really hard at it, and it said, I didn't get everything, but I think the top of it said, "In loving memory of Xena Halpern." How sweet is that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And
Nice touch.
They didn't harp on that or show them showing it to Davin, but you know he loved that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about how much of her is there. I mean, just all that research. Well, she had picked up this gift when she was out traveling. It wasn't intended as a gift for him at the time, but it was something she really wanted him to have.
Yeah. And Rick asks Davin if he will return when they do light it, because Rick said they're only going to light it the one time, and that's going to be when they have the answers, or at least the answers answers to her research, or that her research can provide. They're going to light it that one time, so that'll be a special moment. I hope that gets to happen for both of them.
Yeah, that would be really cool. It was really special.
So that is the end of the episode. Then we have a little sneak peek of next week's episode.
Yep.
So let's chat about that.
Well, we get an idea that possibly the Jolly Roger was
Originally a Templar symbol.
possibly
That's what they said. Don't know.
whoever was there looked like an additional set of researchers.
Yeah.
Who knows? And then we get a peek. Well, we hear about the money bin, mega bin. You know me, I like my mega pits and all that. So the mega bin.
Yeah, they're doing some work up there,
Yay!
trying to see what's down there. And they hit something, and was it Rick said, "What is that?"
Yeah. Is it wood? No, it's harder than
Much
that.
more dense. He
Much
said.
more dense.
And so metal, hopefully,
Hopefully, lead, metal,
some kind of like steel plate.
maybe.
We like the sound of that. Mm-hmm. How does that get underground?
Is it a latrine? That'd be a very sturdy one.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What else happened?
Let's see here. Further analysis, it looks like, of Drayton's Cross.
Yeah, that's exciting. Mm-hmm. They said it could be the most significant discovery in North American history. That doesn't sound... That's not like a small claim.
No, that's not a small claim at all.
Yeah, so exciting.
Yep, I can't wait.
Yep, so now let's talk about probably the most popular segment of the show.
Oh, yes.
The clot-worthy moment of the episode.
Okay, so the week before, we had a choice between two separate ones.
Yeah, here they are.
Axe cut wood, found approximately 170 feet deep underground.
And
Manganese,
The winner was a tie.
a tie.
They both won.
Wah, wah.
They both have 50%. Hey, they were
Yes.
both good, good clot-worthy moments. Good little quotes.
I liked manganese.
I like manganese too. Maybe we should vote.
Well, we have new ones for this week.
Yes. Something about a tunnel?
So the first one is going to be...
a tunnel leading to the money pit.
That's a good one.
Leading to the money pit, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. It's kind of a long one, but
A tunnel? Yeah,